year, and we need to know how are we going to do with in terms of monies, in terms of how are we going to spend the money, where are we going, what's the best thing that we're going to do. So on the platform today, I've got interesting guys. I've got a lot of guys that came in. I've got Tandiwe all the way from Cape Town. I've got Steffi in Johannesburg. I've got Agnella all the way from Grahamstown. I've got Nonhlanhla all the way from and I also got Dennis all the way from Kenya, and I'm also joined by Charles all the way from around. So I want to introduce you guys and say thank you so much for coming. And today we are talking about the holidays. The holidays are around, and where are we spending our money, and how are we going to spend the money if the money is there. And I'll just start with Tandiwe, and Tandiwe, you can take the floor and tell us what are you going to do.
Hi everyone, my name is Tandy Way. I'm 32 years old. I'm based in Cape Town. I'm a mother of two. Hey, I festive season is my favorite season. It creates this hyper of shopping and going to the malls, and it's also a year whereby we reflect on what we have been saving and what we have been targeting and what are the goals that we had all along. And that, so it's now time to execute those goals, or it's time to buy those things that you have always wanted to buy, courtesy of the Black Friday that we have. But yo, to be honest, I think this year has been tough for everyone, so there isn't really much to spend on festive season. So I'm saying, yeah, I'm one of those people that don't know how to save money. So I'm not here for to give advice, but to actually think and expect, so that I can also know how to save the little money that I have left. Thank you.
Nonchansha, this is December, the month that most of the people spend and overspend. So, what's your take on this topic that we have today?
Hi. Can I just come back a few minutes later because
All
of
right,
my
okay.
background?
No, it's fine. It's okay. I'll go to Agnella. Agnella, you can take the floor. This is December.
Yeah, hi, I'm Agnella Mtapiri and from Grahamstown here in South Africa. I'm a chartered accountant, so I'm a wife as well as a mother of two. So December is a big part of the year in my family. It's a big part
Yes.
of the time, part of my family. You know, there's a lot of spending and a lot of money going in and out. So it's time for me as the finance head, I can say the finance head, the person who knows what to do with the money, how to spend the money, so that I know that January is coming. It's not only the festive season. I know, especially my kids, they want this and that, they want that and this, and everyone will be crying. Everyone wants a piece of the money in the family. So it's time for me to sit down and think. Actually, the whole family sit down and think how to spend the money properly, because we don't want to stress ourselves in the near future come January. So December, it's a season of entertainment, a lot of spending, but I'm just going to be careful on that. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much, Agnella. Dennis, festive season and your money, festive season and your pocket. How are you going to spend
Fantastic.
this festive season? Considering how tough the 2020 has been, and we are
Yeah.
here now, and this is the time some of us say we need to forget a little bit about what was happening during the year, and we are here now. We need to spend. How are you spending your festive season?
Well, hi guys. It's fantastic to be here. My name is Dennis. I've heard everyone saying they're a couple of that they're a parent. I'm a parent to a cat, so in terms of parental duties, I don't have a lot of responsibilities on that side. However, this is a December like no other, seeing as the kind of year that we've had. But I'm just going to take it slow. I think you deal with the kind of conditions that you are in. So, seeing as how money has generally been tight in 2020, I think I'm also going to tighten my belt this month, and then just see how it goes. But I'm generally going to take it easy. Yeah.
Okay. Steffi
Yeah.
in Johannesburg, you've got something for us. What are you going to do this festive season?
Man, I think the festive season is like one of my favorite holidays. And but usually I'm not a big spender in the festive season. Besides, just going out with family and going to prize and having picnics and those type of things. I'm really really chilled in December. However, I do like to buy gifts for everyone. And unfortunately, this year, no one is getting a gift from me. So everyone will just have to sit with empty Christmas trees. But literally, I think financially this year has been the toughest, especially now because I have now become the breadwinner in my family. It's literally just two of us, me and my mother. But it's like now we're looking at everything and we're like being extremely careful. So I don't really think we're gonna be doing much this festive besides me just working and maybe just chilling in my room and Netflixing.
But obviously now, it's not about only about you and your mother. You've got an extended family. You've got friends. I mean, there is certain things that we as people, as human beings, do every festive. Just a small thing to show appreciation or just say thank you for the year to our friends or to our families, our extended families. How do you say no, especially this year that has been so difficult? How do you say no, and how have you been handling it all over the years when it comes to that?
Well, it's hard to say no to family sometimes, especially if it's like a family gathering and everybody's like, hey, let's just come together and let's just, enjoy time spent. But I think mainly in my family, it's been less about money and more just about spending time together. We can have like a small braai and still be happy. But I think it's simple. This is just like, hey, I don't have. Like there's nothing more to it. There's nothing more we can add to it. We all know each other's financial standings this year. It's been extremely, extremely difficult. No matter how much you try to save, it has really been difficult. So for me, I literally either just help, especially friends. I'll just be like, hey, yeah, I'm tired. Or not tonight. I have work to do tonight or something. But most of the
Yeah.
times, I just try to be as honest as I can. I'm just like, hey, look, we can't, or we'll see. That's always the excuse. We will see.
All right. I'll come. I just wanted to go to back to Agnella because she raised an interesting point where she said she is the head of the finance in the house, and I know it comes with responsibilities when it comes to extended families, friends. How do you say no? And if you have been giving these people something, it might not be money, it might be presents. This year, how are you doing it? How are you planning to do it?
Yeah. This is a very difficult situation, especially this year. We've got a lot of extended family who are actually in need of our help, who we can't say no to, but because of the situation which we are in, we have to reduce the amount of money or the amount of help which we used to give. Because even in the situation these days, the companies are facing a lot of strains. People are being restrained, which means that the money in the households are becoming very low these days. So I can't keep on giving the same amount of money or the same amount of help to the family. I have to explain to them, obviously, because there's nothing I can do. There's no way I'm going to find any other source of money. So I have to explain to my family, and mostly they do understand, you see, and especially to my children, to my kids. You have to explain to them now, this is the situation. Life is difficult. You need to understand. Okay, you need to teach your children. I actually always teach my children that if I give you 5 rand, you must budget on that 5 rand. You mustn't overspend. You must make sure that you keep all your expenses within that 5 rand. So usually, it's actually difficult to say no to people, but because of this
Yeah.
situation, I have to say no. Not actually, I don't say no, but I actually say we have to limit our spending. We have to to live within our means, because money is becoming very difficult, and the situation which we are in with this epidemic, then it's very pandemic, it's very, very, very difficult. I don't know how we can survive in this situation. It's very difficult, really.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much, Agnella. Nonchansha, you've been listening to this conversation. What's your take on what the other guys have said?
Thank you very much, Lennon. So, from my end, I think, as everyone has said, this has been a difficult year because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And yeah, December is always an exciting and a very relaxed. We want to have fun during December, and then we forget about January. We overspend because, I mean, it's especially this year, it's been a difficult year, and most of us probably have very tight budgets, and we have to work with those tight budgets. From my end, I also have December
Oh,
birthdays to take care of, so it's always been a tough one. You've got birthdays and Christmas, so I'm always all for one present for both the birthday and Christmas, even though it's 10 days apart or whatever it is. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, this year, what I would go for is pay my January expenses first before I enjoy or spend on my festive season gifts and the
thank you
like.
so much, Nonchansha. Dennis, the ladies say what they said now, and it's about saying no, how to say no when you don't have. How have you been dealing with this? How have you been managing to the family, the extended family, the friends
Yeah.
that you have? Obviously, like what other ladies say, there is something that you need to give at the end of the year, every time as the year ends. How are you doing it?
Well, first of all, if there is a year that you can say no and people will understand, it is 2020. This is perhaps one of the only years that you can actually get to have a very valid excuse to say that, I cannot spend like I normally do. We cannot go where we normally do in December. We have to slow down on our expenses. If there was a year to do that, this is the year. This is actually the month. And I think the best way to do this, the best approach is to, sort of inform whoever you normally, give out a bit of money. Perhaps it's your partner, your girlfriend, your family, your kids, perhaps. Just inform them that when it gets to January, automatically things will not be back to normal. Remember, the pandemic is still continuing. We are still in that tight situation. So just let them know that once it gets to January, automatically things don't go back to how they were. We are still in the same situation. Just I think by hinting at the future and telling them that we are still in this hole, they should understand. So I think one of the strategies that I plan to use is just to inform people about the future. Just to let them know we still do not have a vaccine that is being rolled out in the country at the moment. So let's just hang tight, and once everything has
Yeah.
resumed back to normal, once the economy has stabilized, once we are back to the level of income that we were pre-pandemic, then we can go back to normal. So just let your friends know about how important it is to keep an eye on the future. Yeah.
All right. Having said all these guys, I mean, you guys have said this is what you're gonna do this year. You're just gonna try and say the year's been bad. The year's been bad. Everyone knows that, but there is always a January disease. I mean, everyone will still be crying. Is it just people crying or it's real? Tandiwe, how are you trying to, I mean, to spend this festive without going over your budget and just making sure that you just go, the holiday just goes smooth and everything flows according to what you want for this year? How have you been planning it?
You know what? That's, I think, one of my greatest weaknesses when it comes to money. I don't save, so I just go with the flow. I don't even try to save because you know, I know it's funny to say, but during the days where I used to be so stingy and so savvy in my life, I used to be a sad person because everything was about saving. I didn't have time to enjoy my life, to enjoy the moments that I had because I was just planning for the future. And I couldn't even spare any amount to say this is for my pleasure because I was so serious about life. So when I started loosening up my pocket and then I started enjoying my life over the years, I'm telling you, I've had the best years of my life. So actually, I can't save actually, and I'm one of those former people, those people with the fear of missing out. So I believe that whatever I'm buying, I deserve it for working hard, obviously, because we work so hard in these organizations that we are in, and then we earn so little. So I believe that we don't even have the money to save. We are living on a survival mode. So I, and I cannot say no to people. That's my greatest. I call it my greatest strength.
Mm.
Some actually call it a weakness, but I think it's a strength because I tend to feel for other people. Like when someone comes to me and they say they want this help, I put myself in their situation because then I start to think, what if it was me and then this person is my last hope and then I'm saying no to this person? How would I feel? And I feel so bad. Even when my child comes to me to say, Mommy, I want a doll, and then I can't buy the doll. I can't sleep because I'm thinking, what type of parent am I to this child? And this child really needs this doll. Or my cousin really needs this. And at the end of the day, I end up overspending and then I just go with the flow. In January, I'm crying like everybody else, and yeah, it's just a bit.
So, in other words, you're trying to tell us that you are easy to manipulate. And all right, all right. Steffi, your take on this?
Man, look, I think for me, being the person I am, it's very easy to say I don't
Okay,
have. Because
to the
I
point.
am used to putting myself in other people's shoes and I'm used to giving people. But when I find myself in positions like this where I'm not able to give, and I just have to say, no, look, I can't, because I share Tandue's sentiments like you want to give people, you want to put yourself in their shoes. But sometimes you have to put yourself in your own shoes and you have to put yourself first because right now during COVID, it is your household that comes first. It is your family that comes first. It is whoever you are taking care of that comes first before anyone else. And if you cannot even provide in your own house, there's no use for you going out and providing for other people when your house hasn't been sorted. So for us, for me, usually in January, I put a lock on the bank. I don't spend. I do nothing. I leave it. All I have is my expenses for work and for traveling and all of that, and I keep it at that. And then only after January, like in Feb or something, then I'm like, okay, let me see what can I do today. But I mean, my family's also got like the worst times to be birthed. I think my nephew was born last year around this time, December, and we actually just bought him gifts today, but it was little small little gifts. We didn't even spend a lot. And later on, coming in the month is his mother's birthday, and then we have a cousin whose birthday it is, then a father-in-law's birthday. In January, it's my nephew's father's birthday and my cousin's birthday, and then in Feb, it's my niece's birthday. So for us, these 3 months are very very busy, very expensive. But one thing we can do as a family is minimize, like as long as we have good company, as long as my mother can bake a cake for us, I think we are all happy. But one thing we have learned as a family is that, if you don't have, it's okay to say no. It's okay not to have anything big. It's okay to just lock the bank for a while, just eat what you have at home, don't go out or anything, just chill inside because at the end of the day, you don't want to be the one going on knocking on people's doors and asking for assistance, when you could have saved up yourself and just stayed at home and not go all out.
Oh, wow. I saw now on Facebook, Leti Muko is saying no overspending for us with this COVID. I mean, people are just hiding behind the COVID. And also Melissa said this year we are lucky we can hide behind COVID. And Sten as well said that we Sten as well is saying COVID is gonna be our messiah this year because I mean we just say, oh, there's COVID. There is nothing. COVID is a great excuse. So, Nonchansha, is COVID your great
Yes.
excuse for this year, or you got a different view on this?
All right, so I think COVID will be everyone's perfect excuse, but I share the same sentiments with Steph. Uh,
Okay.
with my family. So, I mean, we've gone through hard times over the years since my father passed away and the like. So we've learned to have our small Christmas and the like, and everyone is happy. We are content. So what we normally do to beat the January disease, school fees we pay. You know, some of us get our bonus if it comes through in December. So we make sure we pay school fees, we pay all the necessary expenses for January, and then we spend what's left. And then what has also helped in terms of groceries is doing here in Zim we call it mukando or round. In South Africa, I think
Oh,
it's your
okay.
Stockville type of thing, and I don't know what it's called in other countries. So over like from January up to maybe November, we contribute and then we buy groceries. So that's something that has always helped with Christmas groceries. So you now don't have to worry about groceries, and you only then get a few things to top up what you already have.
Oh wow! I mean that is one of the cleverest thing to do as well, where you do all that, where you save like for groceries for the whole year. I mean, Agnella, what have you been doing to come to this year? I mean, up to December. Have you been saving, or you say, okay, I'll wait for the bonus and then I'll start from there, or you just say, okay, we'll deal with it when it comes? Because I know a lot of people they say, let's leave now, and then January will look after itself. There's a lot of people who does that. I mean, I know you, and you're a chartered accountant, and this is your area. How have you been doing it also, when it comes to we live now, or have you been spending? Have you been doing whatever non said, you save money as a group, and then at the end of the year you buy something or you buy groceries? Have you been doing the same, or it's different from you?
Yeah, I've been doing a little bit the same non-slash. Yeah, I know that people must live today and then don't worry about tomorrow. But as for me, usually at the beginning of the year, we plan with the family. What do you want to do in December? Because you know that December is always coming. So if maybe we might plan for a holiday, then we can say, let's save at least maybe 500 Rand every month. Then we can do something like, I don't know, put it in a savings account, and then every month that money will go into the savings account, because we know that come December, we don't know that if we are going to get a bonus. Maybe the company is going to to find difficult to give us the bonus, but we still want to enjoy our December. So we start to save for December early. For example, in this year, we started to save in January, little by little, not a lot, so that we don't put ourselves a lot of strain during December time, so that everyone, all the kids, will be able to get what they want. For example, if we want to go to Cape Town, maybe we want to go for a holiday, we'll be able to spoil them, to spoil the kids. But by spoiling them, we are not giving strain on our January expenses, because you know that in January we've got a lot of school fees, a lot of rent need to be paid, electricity need to be paid, and all those kind of things. So what I usually do when it comes to December now, we usually do our budget. You see, we do our budget, we put the most important things on top. What are we going to do in December? First of all, we put our fees amount aside, our rents aside, our electricity and everything for January, because once we are paid on the 15th of December, the next salary is going to be on the 25th of January. So which means we've got a long way to go to get for us to get another money. So we put that money aside, and what is left now, we can do whatever we want. We are free to overspend, we are free to buy whatever we want. But what I always be careful with is friends and family. People want to come to visit us. There will be a lot of people want to visit us, So which means I'm going to spend a lot of money trying to please these visitors at my house. But this year I said to myself, money is tight. So whoever is going to visit me this year, I'm going to try to ask politely, really politely, so that we can share expenses, share the expenses, share the food costs. Because I'm not going to be able to host everyone, because this is difficult. You
Yeah.
don't have to be shy about it. You need to be true to yourself, because you are the only one who's going to He's going to be in trouble come January,
Yeah.
because everyone in January will not have money. You can't even borrow money in January, maybe to your friend. Can you give me some money? They'll say no, because everyone will be in difficult position in January. So I just
All right.
say you must be true to yourself come
Oh,
January.
wow.
Yes.
Interesting. I mean, one of our viewers on Facebook, they asked, how is this stock fair also in Kenya? This is going to Dennis. How do you do it in Kenya, where you put money together from January until December, and what do you call it? I mean, people are interested to know as well. And someone,
Well,
just before you
okay,
answer, Dennis,
okay.
someone asked, can we prepay the bills in December? And I mean, I know it can be done, but people are not doing it. So you can just tackle the first one and then go to the second one, and then we go with the flow.
Okay, fantastic. Now, I'm not sure there's a specific tab for putting things together bit by bit, although we do have a Swahili phrase. It says it's called haba na haba, which means
Ah,
bit by bit,
how
basically.
about
So,
okay?
yeah, so haba na haba, kujaza kibaba means when you put a bit by a bit, you end up with a lot, basically. So I think
Okay.
if we in Kenya, if we put haba na haba throughout
Hmm.
the year, I think by the time it gets to December, we would be ready. I think it's more of a universal thing, whereby people do have challenges in savings. I mean, I understand that fully. There's
Yeah.
always so much to do, and there's always so little money that we have. I mean, there's only so much, right? So I think the best strategy is every week just put a bit aside. Every week put a bit aside. Throughout the year, it's 52 weeks. There was a 52-week challenge that Kenyans were undertaking at the beginning of the year. So I'm sure if people were saving, steadfast and following that to the key, right now they probably have a good amount of money set aside, especially with the prevailing circumstances. Now, just to tackle the issue of prepaying for January, things is that uh, because a lot of businesses are competing for clients in December, it is actually a good opportunity for consumers to take advantage of that. There's a lot of sales going on, and a lot of businesses are just haggling over each other just to get you. So what you can do, if you had probably saved, or if you have money that you feel that you wanted to spend during this December, this would be the time to go ahead and perhaps do some shopping for things that your kids could use for school in January, or even things that you would use in your house. Of course, not perishable goods, but goods that that you could use in January, because if, there's a lot of businesses who are offering great offers during this month. We recently had Black Friday just the other day. So I think, from November, moving on towards December, the festive season, there's a lot of offers that, you can take advantage of. And it's not too late, Right now, if you have just a bit of money, you can just always look for the best offer, okay? Just take your time. Once you get a product that you want to purchase, there's probably always a better price being offered by another business. So this is the time to watch out for those offers, and then use that as part of your strategy to buy things that you will then use in January. And I think when you do that, you will probably be in a good position. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Thank you so much, Dennis. Before I move on to the other guys, there's a question that was popped up by Melissa. It was actually directed to Dennis, but I'm gonna push it towards everyone. It says, question being directed at Dennis, the cat parent, being single and a fish mother myself. How do you deal with family and friends would think you have no responsibility simply because you don't have a family? That I know a lot of people experience that, because you are still single, you're not married. People expect you to do more because you don't, they think you don't have responsibility. And before I will come back to Dennis, but I'm gonna push this one to Steffi first, and then we take it from there.
Thank you so much. In fact, I was shaking my head because I know that question. People look at me, being single. They're like, but you have no
Oh yeah,
responsibilities. You only have a niece and
yeah.
nephew. And you think to yourself, but how much easier is it for you who have someone who's also getting an income? How much more better is your financial standing at that point? Because right now I'm looking after myself with my own money. There's no one next to me being here like, okay, let's split the bills. Let's do this together. Let's pay the rent together. Everything is on me. If I do not pay anything, I'm the one who's starving. So that question has been posed to me a lot. And the thing is, just because you are single doesn't mean you don't have responsibilities. Single people also have responsibilities. We also have rent to pay. We also have cars to pay, petrol to pay for, food to buy. It doesn't mean that because you are living on your own that you have absolutely nothing to spend your money on. And sometimes I feel like when you are single and you have money, your money tends to allocate itself if you are not too careful. Your money will find a place where it's just going to take itself to, and you just have to be careful when you are busy dealing with your finances. But honestly speaking, single people have responsibilities. Just because we don't have kids, we don't have a spouse, does not mean that we do not have
Oh
a
yes.
burden on
Chandiwe,
ourselves.
what's your take on this? On
I
behalf of this those single people.
I agree with Steffi, and you know what? In the group of the friends and families that you are talking about, that judgment comes as a result of like judgment. You measure me, and you think because Tandy is wearing this, Tandy is eating this, Tandy is having this, she's earning this amount. So you estimate in your head that I'm earning this much based on a criteria that you maybe you thinking you see the way that I dress or my lifestyle that I live, not knowing that I might not be earning what you think I'm earning. I'm even earning less, but because I put 80% of my money to show or to showing off stuff, to doing stuff that I wanna do, going out and doing stuff, then you tend to think that I'm earning more. And then you tend to think that I don't have a set of responsibilities that you should have. That's so wrong. I don't think we should measure people or judge people based on the set of responsibilities that we have, because there are people that are doing things that we don't know of. And I mean, like, just surviving is enough. We don't really, especially like when it comes to responsibilities. As with kids, we are taking care of school fees, we are taking care of transport, we are taking care of rents and food and stuff. So there's a lot to do. But like I said, if you are here in foreign countries, you don't know what we are doing back home. So you might see someone and then you think this person is struggling or this person is earning less, not knowing that they're actually investing back home. So we don't have to judge other people based on how much they earn or the type of lifestyle that they are living, because that's the thing, that's the way that they choose to live.
Oh wow. Nonchanta, do you want to take on this one?
It's an interesting one, really, because I think Stan also put in a comment to say people budget for
Yes,
you.
yes.
People budget for you because I think Tandy will put it rightly to say people see you do certain things and then they box you, and then it then comes to budgeting for you. So yeah, it's something that we just need to do away with. Let's not budget for other people, and I mean, make a plan for yourself, honestly, because we are all struggling to make ends meet. So don't expect someone else to come through for you. And if they say they can't, then you're not happy about it. People are doing different things. You've got, yes, you're single, but you've got a plan. Maybe you're investing or you are putting down money to buy a house. And it's not easy to tell people that this is what I'm doing with my money, because then you get some kind of backlash against say, okay, if they can actually put down money to buy a house, then they do have the money. So yeah, it's a difficult one because if you then tell people what you're doing with your money, then there's another expectation to say, okay, they actually do have money to do that, so they will have money to give me.
Yes, and I think also it's actually
We'll
natural
come back to
in
that question.
It's actually like
Yes.
natural in the human social groups to compare yourself with other people because that's how you grow. So like there's competition that is healthy and there's competition that is not. So whatever I do, whatever that motivates me, I see it from my friends, I see it from my family, because those are the people that are close to me that I can compare myself to. And then there's competition that is not healthy to say when someone is doing this, then I should do that. Like Will Smith said in one of his movies to say we use the money that we don't have to buy the things that we don't even need to impress the people that we don't even like. So we are actually taking debt so that we can buy things to impress other people that, you know, your real friends and family that actually love you. They don't care if you're struggling or not, because you know what, money does not define you. And it actually takes a person who has gotten to a certain level to understand that there's no difference in your character and in your personality, whether you have money or not. So I don't believe in unhealthy competition. Competition should be able to motivate and build you in your social group than to force you to take date or to buy things that you don't have money for, so that simply you can show off. People that love you, you don't have to show off to them.
Yeah, that I think that is the biggest challenge. I was saying we'll come back to that. I just want to hear the Dennis' opinion on the question that I posed earlier on as a single person, because everyone expects you, I mean, to do a lot for them because they think you don't have much on your plate because you're single. How do you take that, Dennis?
Well, first of all, the first thing I'd like to ask is, what does single mean? Just because you're not married does not mean that you might not have a significant other. So, we need to broaden that sort of definition of single, or so that is not just by official government papers. Are you single? Are you not?
Yeah.
Perhaps you might have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, somewhere, and you might be doing things together, things that actually cost you money. So just because someone isn't married does not mean that they're not, having such responsibilities as, perhaps if you take your wife or your husband out or something like that. And also, I think with being a single person, single, you might have to explain to people who are, who are not, in the same position, just the kind of responsibilities that you might have. For example, just because I don't have a child at this moment does not mean that I will not have a child later on, and perhaps I'm actually saving for that. And it is definitely true that raising a child today is not as expensive as it will be, to raise a child in 5 or 10 years. So, people who already don't have those responsibilities will probably have a bigger burden on them in, more years' time, which makes more sense why, the single person or the one who does not have kids right now should be, not spending money on you, who, perhaps who has, a couple of kids, or, something like that. And, just on the cat thing, I'd say that raising a cat or a dog or whatever pet that you might have is also pretty expensive. It's not the cheapest thing, This thing, they eat, they need to go to the vet ever so often. They have needs, and you really are a parent. So I think it calls for understanding from people who have kids, and to people who have pets. Yeah.
That's an interesting one. Just to give something there on Dennis' point, our families will say, "Ah, but why are you buying a cat? Why are you buying a dog? I mean, it's an expense. Why don't you keep that money or give it to us to use?" I mean, you will never win with that. Just to come back to Nonhlanhla's point, where she said that sometimes you keeping money to build a house or to buy a car, and you don't want to tell your family. I think that's where the biggest challenge is, because if you don't tell them, they will think you. I mean, it's in two ways. If you don't tell them, they will think, oh, okay, you just don't want to give. If you tell them, they think, okay, he or she actually has money to buy this thing. How are you guys dealing with these things? Because I know we've got WhatsApp groups, we've got our family groups. These things happens, and then you can't just pop up and say, "Okay, today I bought a house," and then they'll say, "Oh, okay, why didn't you tell us?" That's another story. Agnella, How have you been dealing with this one where you have to do something without your family knowing, especially when it comes to money?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me? It's like
Yes.
my network went down. Okay, no, that's fine. This is a difficult situation because if you tell the family that you are planning to do this and that, then is
Mm,
what others of you has already said, they're starting to judge you already that, oh, so this person has got a lot of money. And we on the other side, we are struggling. She's not giving us money to do this and that. But what people must understand is that I've got my life. Okay, I've got plans for my life and I need to do things for my own life. Because if you start listening to what people say, then you are not going to do anything in your life. You're not going to build your house. You're going to keep on help. I'm not saying helping is bad, but first of all, you must look out for yourself. You are the most important person here. You need to look out for yourself. Go ahead, do things that makes you happy, build your house. Then, save money to build your house. Let them see that you have achieved something. I know they're going to say, oh, in Shona, in our language, they say, no, Vaira. You see? So, what I'm trying to say is that when you want to do something, don't do it just because the family is going to say this about me. Just do what you want to do as well. And if I want, for example, if for example we're discussing about the single person not having a responsibility of his own, what is responsibility? Responsibility doesn't mean that you must have kids, or responsibility doesn't mean that you must have a partner. People have got a lot of responsibilities. Because as a single person, you might want to start planning the ahead of your life. You want to build a house, like you want to buy a house, you want to get a bond. So, which means you've got a lot of responsibility, you've got a lot of places where you are spending your money on. So, people, they don't know what you are doing. So, they can't judge you by being single, means that you don't have any responsibilities. Yeah, that's
mm.
what I have to
Oh,
say.
wow, wow, that's that's a good one. There. Just before I take it to Steffi, I saw Letty Muko there saying some things are just has to be done without announcing. Steffi, how do you do it? I mean, do you? I mean, there's certain things that you need to announce, or is just maybe it's just me.
Look, not
Yeah,
everything has to be announced.
that's right.
Honestly, no, honestly, not everything has to be announced. And what I always usually say is that even when people see me doing something and they've asked me for money for them, I always say, yes, I have money for me. I don't have money for you, though. Because people feel entitled. They feel entitled to know what you are spending your money on when you are saying no to them. They feel entitled to know, okay, what is it that you are doing with your budget then if you can't give me money? The thing is, people, we need to stop also trying to live up to the expectations of other people and start just living up to our own expectations about ourselves. If I'm saving money for myself to buy a house, that is my business. I do not have a responsibility to anyone else to announce to them that, hey, look, I'm saving up to buy a house. It is purely my decision. And people need to learn to respect people's decisions, especially concerning money, because money is always a sensitive topic, between friendships and family relationships and stuff like that. It is very, very sensitive because people always feel entitled. They feel entitled to you spending money on them. So I think we also need to become a bit more harsh and stern, in saying no, in saying you don't need to know what my plans are. We need to become more stern in saying so, because most times when it comes to money, we like to be the nice people. We like to be the people that people can come to and be like, hey, yo, can you help me out? And we like to be the ones who are able to help people. But sometimes we need to put our foot down and be like, no, you don't need to know right now. Or no, I don't have money for you. I have to take care of myself right now. We just need to become a bit more stern.
Oh, wow, wow.
So,
Uh,
Lennon,
yes, yes.
can I quickly come in there? What Agnella and Steffi have said, when you're saving and you announce and someone thinks, okay, but they don't have money to buy airtime for me, or I'm starving. So what people don't realize is sometimes you actually save a whole lot of your money and you sacrifice to say, okay, this month I'm not going to buy meat. I'm just going to have maybe sadza and vegetables, and that's it. So that's one other thing that people don't understand, to say when you don't have money and you're putting it towards something, you're also sacrificing as an individual where you are, and you've decided, I'm going to forego this so that I can also get this for myself, so that I can fulfill this goal for myself. So I think that's one other thing that people need to understand. I think for me, I'm fortunate with my family. I'm open with them. I let them know this month, this is what I can do, or this year, this is what I can do, because this is what I'm working towards. And yeah, I'm fortunate. We don't have problems when it comes to that.
Oh wow, thank you. And Stin just said in the comments there, can we talk about helping those really in need during this period? Is there anything, guys, that you're planning just to help the need? There's special people in our lives, I mean, out there, who really need us. I mean, is there any plans to do some help, or do you do these things every year? Or if you haven't done it, are you planning to do something like that, guys? Chandiwe?
Thanks, Lennon. I think in our lives we always have someone who is in need of something that we can be able to offer them at little a cost to us. And I think, like I indicated earlier on, I'm one of those people who, when someone comes and then they need help, I am unable to say no, because a better part of my life I have been in that situation where I was asking people for help and no one would hear me out. So whenever someone comes to me and they need help, I go back to the younger me who was in need of that uncle or that aunt that I didn't have. So I always try to put myself in that situation whereby I'm that aunt that I wish I had when I was growing up. So I always try to provide. And you know what? Luckily enough for me, whenever I give out something to help somebody, God always finds a way to bring it back to me. It always comes back in an unexpected way. So I'm one of those people. I know you guys have been saying sometimes, let's use COVID as an excuse. Don't you love your relatives and family? Like, I used an excuse on my budget to help someone, and you're actually using an excuse of your budget not to help. Guys, be serious. We only live one. We only have these relationships that we share with these people. And you know what? We tend to regret, and when those people are gone, when those people die, and then we tend to think, well, I could have done this, I could have done that. I know all of us are struggling. It's not easy for anyone right now during COVID, but the little that we have, we've got no idea how much it costs, especially when it's collective. I've 2 months back, I've opened an organization called the Norton Child Organization Fund. So
Wow.
we are it's a fund. We are funding orphans in Norton to provide them with school fees. So you know what, how much school fees is in Zimbabwe right now? It's about 50 rand a term. The last time that I was paying for the other kids that I was assisting, it's 50 rand. How what do you do with a 50 rand? And you know that 50 rand can go a long way, the full term of 3 months of someone going to school. So I think it just takes someone to trigger that thing in people's minds to say, this money that you can buy a Big Mac. You can't even buy a Big Mac with 50 rand, but you can actually pay for someone's school fees for the whole term. So I think giving out to people is something that will always be with us, no matter how poor or no matter how rich. You always have a share of yourself, a pie chart, a share of the pie chart that you have to allocate to those people in need, the people that you know and the people that you don't know. And when
Mm.
it comes to announcing things to relatives and friends, I think it also depends on your relationship with that person. There are people that you tell everything, and there are people that obviously you only tell on a higher level, like when you're doing something bigger. But I think the people that really love you, like that I say, the close people that you have, they really understand. If you say, guys, I'm saving, I want to buy my shoe, there's no way you're gonna come back to me and want to take all that shoe money from me. Obviously, if you love me, you would also want to contribute something to that shoe. So yeah, that's my
Yeah.
sentiments.
All right, thank you so much. Just before I take it to the other guys, I just want to say thank you, Tanjiwe, for a great work that you're doing. I saw Sten also there say great work you're doing. Keep on doing the good work. I mean, it's really needed. I mean, a lot of people need this. Just a 50 rand, like you said, it saves someone. And thank you so much for doing that. I'm just gonna go to Dennis. I mean, just to find out if you guys are doing the same in Kenya. or you yourself as an individual, what are you doing? I mean, or what will you be doing this festive just to help the needy? Or if you've been thinking about it, if you've done it before, or you're thinking about it, you want to do it, how are you planning to do just to help one or two people, this festive?
Okay. Well, I'll say that there's plenty of places where you can lend a hand. Now, if you cannot go out and directly impact someone's life like Tandiwe, then you can always volunteer even your services to organizations such as the Red Cross, and there's always a need. There's always someone who might need your hand. Now you can either go out directly and perhaps just buy someone their next meal, or if you cannot do that, you can volunteer to an organization, such as the Red Cross, or there are so many programs even locally where you can volunteer your own time and perhaps skills. If you're a teacher, you can go teach kids. You don't even have to be a teacher to teach some of these things. Just share your time. I feel like every individual has something that they can give everyone. You don't even have to give actual money. A lot of people are normally used to just throwing money to the problem, sort of like to resolve it. But there's always something that you can give. If you cannot give your money, you can give your time. If you cannot give your time, you know, you can
Yeah.
give your service, your hard work. So I feel like there's plenty of organizations out there, and I feel like
Oh,
everyone should endeavor to do something because there's always someone who needs
oh
your help
wow.
out
Yeah, that's good.
there. Yeah.
And thank you so much, Dennis, for that. If you don't have money, I mean, obviously you have to a helping hand, just help is something, whatever you can do. I mean, just to help. Agnella, have you been thinking about something like that, or have you done something like that before?
What I've done and what I've always been doing is helping my family, close family relatives at home. There are a lot of people of my family who doesn't have any money, especially for this festive season for Christmas. Kids who doesn't even have clothes to wear for Christmas. So what I usually do during the Christmas time, I do send certain people, not all of
Okay.
them, money to buy food. Maybe, for example, in Zimbabwe, if you buy a chicken and if you buy something to cook for Christmas, I'll send little bit for all the people, to all the people, so that they can have a special day on Christmas. They can enjoy their Christmases. I can buy some clothes for the kids and all sorts of things. But I don't have an organization or something that I help. In the meantime, I'm helping the immediate family who are in need to enjoy their
Oh
festive
wow.
season. Yeah.
That's great. Steffi?
Well, for me, I think I genuinely just do that. I don't wait for a specific time, like festive season, whenever to start handing out and doing things for people. I generally just do that whenever I see the need arise in someone's life. And I may not go out into organizations and, give my time, my services, or my money there. But what I've realized is that sometimes we have a lot of people surrounding us, around us, who actually need assistance, and sometimes we bypass that because people look okay. We don't really look at these situations. And we think, okay, because you are smiling, you must be okay. Let me go give into this organization. Like at Milo, I also have family and friends who are also struggling, who have lost their jobs, who don't really have much money. And that's where my assistance would go to. If I am able to assist, I would assist there with them, doing stuff for them or giving them money. I mean, during lockdown, I've had a lot of friends who did not have jobs, who did not have means of paying, or eating and stuff. And I had to come out and be like, hey, yeah, instead of going to an organization to help out there, where many thousands of people are helping out, let me help out this person here who's really in need of help, who doesn't have immediate assistance right now. So for me, I don't wait for a specific time to do that. I just generally do it when I see the need
Oh
arise
wow,
and when I feel the
interesting.
need to do it.
Lastly, Nonhlanhla?
All right. So from my end this year, where I'm working with an organization called Soroptimist International, and we're doing what we're calling a
Okay.
Christmas drop off. So we are fundraising. So people will donate different things, non-perishable foods, toys, um, clothes, and toiletries, which will then package into gift packs, and then we will share them to the children's homes and other organizations that we work with throughout the year. So that's what I'm part of this year.
Wow, interesting. I mean, it's good to know that, I mean, the panelists is doing something, you know, people are helping out there, be it your friend, be it family, and out there. I mean, it's good. I mean, just before I give you the chance to give us your parting shots, there is an interesting comment that Sten posted on Facebook. He said there is a surge in suicide in December, and uh, we need a way to encourage each other to support one another. Guys, I've seen the statistics in this, especially December up until January. There's a lot of people who are committing suicide. I mean, is it because of the money or anything? So maybe you can just pop in there and then put your parting shots as well, for our topic. I'll start with Tandiwe.
Thanks, Lennon. Actually, it's new to me. Interestingly, I didn't know that there is high suicide rates in December. But like I indicated, it could be a result of what we were highlighting earlier on to say is expectations that you have. You still want to live up to someone's standards and try to impress people. And you know what? Sometimes in our social groups, we tend to compete with each other, and then you think if I'm like this person, then I'll be better, or because this person has got this and this and this, it means I'm lazy, which is not true. You cannot compare yourself with somebody else, and the fact that somebody else has these things does not mean that you are lazy. And once you get to that certain level of thinking, your thoughts, I think they'll be suicidal if you cannot keep up with the pace of your friends and family. But you know what? Like I said earlier on, money does not define you. Whether you have money or you don't have money, people that love you understand you for who you are, for your character. And it's okay not to have money. It's okay when you see your friends succeeding and doing things that you don't have. It's okay, it's okay to be in debt. You don't have to kill yourself over debt. I mean, South Africa, we borrowed $4 billion to IMF in July, and then right now the national treasury, we are in debt of more than 200 billion as a country, with all the qualified chartered accountants like Agnella and all those learned serial apostles, but we are still in debt. So who are you as a person not to be in debt? So I think it's okay. You don't have to beat ourselves over money. It's okay just to survive. That's my motivation. I don't have to be out of debt or to be rich and to have the material things that I think money can buy. To me, it's just fine as long as I have the people that I love, as long as I have the things that I need, I'm fine. Money does not really bring the happiness that we think it brings.
All right, thank you so much, Tandiwe. Agnella, your parting shots?
Usually, people in December they do kill themselves because, for example, a person will go and spend all his bonus on one day, spend splashing in that. Then after that, the person will come to his senses and said, "Oh, I don't have money." Then he'll start to think about the family, the wife, the kids, the expenses, and then the person will not be able to control it, and some they took out their lives. So when it comes to that, people they must learn to talk to people. When it comes to that situation that you realize that you have messed up, talk to people, talk to close people, so that there is always a way. Yes, you have overspent all the money, you don't have anything, and you have to talk to your friends, your relatives. There is always a way for you to survive. So people must learn to talk and to be open to each other.
All right. Thank you so much, Agnella. Steffi, your parting shot?
For me, I'll just say that look, it is a difficult time we are living in, and it might not only be just financial problems that people are going through. But what I've learned through 2020 is the fact that we need to start checking up on each other a lot. A lot of people have been struggling emotionally, not just financially, but there's been a lot of struggle. I think there's been a rise in mental illness and stuff like that because of the COVID situation and everything like that. But I think just generally in terms of just living and in terms of this month, let us check up on each other. let us give advice where we can see advice needs to be given. Instead of spending time, partying and stuff like that, let us sit down with each other and share wisdom. Let us share encouragement. Let us do those types of things, because those are the things that we tend to neglect, because we think, okay, every man for himself, everyone is doing okay, everyone is fine. But emotionally, deep down, people are really struggling. So I've made it a point this year myself to check up on people, to spend time with people. It doesn't have to involve money all the time. Sometimes people just need to be able to talk. And people aren't always going to come out and tell you, like, hey, look, I am struggling financially, or I'm struggling emotionally. We need to also be those people to just go out there and pick up the phone and call people and just be like, hey, I just called to check up on you. Is everything okay? How are you doing? Are you fine? So instead of just trying to always, block out the emotions and everything with parties and all of these things, let us also start sharing wisdom with our friends, sharing encouragement, sharing love, and just spending time with people.
All right. Thank you so much. Nonhlanhla, your parting shots, my dear.
Steffi took the words right out of my mouth. So I was going to say we need to be checking up on each other. I think we've seen through this year when the COVID lockdown started, some of us stay alone. So we've had to do a lot of really staying connected to people. And yeah, check up on someone, check up on 2 or 3 people, and just hear if they're doing okay and if they need anything. I think that really goes a long way. And in terms of managing festive season and your money, I will just go back to saying, if you can prepay your January expenses, just do that. If, for example, I think Agnella mentioned that, your December salary comes around the 15th, and then your January salary comes around the 25th. So if you really want to manage your money and you know that you can't save and just keep your money in the bank, then pay whatever you can and then spend what is left. Thank you very much.
All right. Dennis, lastly, your parting shots.
Uh, yes. I feel like the suicide rates have generally been going up, just over the years, and I think perhaps maybe someday soon we'll tackle mental health on this fantastic platform. But traditionally, Christmas and December was a season for coming together, with friends and family, and just talking, and just bringing back that kind of unified spirit. And I think this is the time where we should try to go back to that. If there's anything that 2020 has taught us, is that we really do need each other. Throughout the whole lockdown, we've realized the importance of being close to those who are around you, and just forming and upholding those bonds. So if there's anything that we can do through this Christmas and this December period, is just be tight, talk to your friends, talk to your people around you, talk to new people, just form bonds. And if you already have those bonds, keep them going, and while you do that, be smart about your finances. Keep in mind that that December is 31 days and January is 61 days.
That's a good one there. January 61 days. I mean, thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for coming through. It's been a great conversation. We need to just pick up a phone, call on someone, ask them, are they okay? Do you need anything? I mean, we are there for each other. We are human beings. We are family as we are. You don't have to wait for someone to come back to you. It's been a great conversation, guys, and we want to thank you. We want to thank our viewers for watching. And for now, we say goodbye for now. Thank you.
Okay.